Welcome everyone to the Growth Podcast. This is our YouTube. Today we're going to be reacting to the Balenciaga exposure that has been happening. As a Christian, I believe that this is something that we should be aware of, and I believe that this has been very blatant and in our face for quite some time now. As far as how deep and dark this industry is, as far as like music, movies, fashion. Let's just say it's very satanic and it's been in our face for quite some time. And I know that it's so easy to just overlook these things, but they've always been putting it like out there for us to see. It's just unfortunate that we just I don't know. We're overlooking it. We're just living life, not caring. But I really do want us to look into this Balenciaga thing that is happening right now. So we're going to check this out. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it.
Promotion, right? What was the distasteful part of this ad campaign? Now, the trigger for the rest of everything that's kind of been uncovered is that they had these images, right, with children. And I'm personally just going to say it. I think that children are off limits for any kind of like modeling of adult stuff. I have to just draw the line at children, exactly. Modeling only children's items. That's it, okay? That's where I stand on it. So already, this was always going to sit badly with me.
I just think like as a parent, because I have a son, it's just when you see these things, it's like what, why, and how dark does your heart have to be to even go to this type of place? Now I'm not one to really judge, but there are things that, we all judge. We have to differentiate like what is good, what is bad, what is safe to be around, what is safe for our kids and what's not safe. And ultimately, our survival is based on judgment, being able to judge character, the room, the vibe, whatever you see going on. You got to be able to make quick judgments. And things like this is like, it's scary in a sense, but we're gonna keep watching.
But what is the worst part is if you actually zoom in on these images, these bears that these children are holding are not so innocent. They are bears that are dressed in BDSM gear. And for the sake of saying what BDSM means, it stands for bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism. To summarize BDSM, it's like a dominance and submission thing, and it's something that you have to give permission to. So you have to give consent. If someone's doing these participating BDSM, which is a SE act, they have to give consent. And that's why everyone is in such an uproar, because you got these bears with BDSM gear on being held by children. That is so gravely inappropriate, given that BDSM is an SE nature. That's what it is. And that explains why everyone is in such an uproar, because children are holding bears with BDSM gear on that is clearly not.
It's just sick, man. This is sick. It just really is.
Not for children. It is an adult content. And it's so wrong. If they were just bears, that's fine. But they're not just bears. They're bears with BDSM gear. This is R-rated plus sort of stuff, and there's a child clearly under the age of 6 holding these bears. Like, what was Balenciaga thinking? That this was going to ever go down well? Like I said, it gets worse. So we can see that it's completely and totally inappropriate at face value, okay?
Right. Straight from the jump.
The next thing that has been picked up is that in another photo for this same campaign, there is a Balenciaga Adidas collaboration bag on a table amongst a heap of documents.
And this is how they do it. Like, this is what they call subliminal. It's like there's things in the background. There's little symbols, signs, papers, whatever, some type of symbol that has nothing really to, well, it seems like it has nothing to do with what they're trying to portray. But when you look deep into it, you see that, wow, they they purposely put this there for a reason. So this part is very interesting. Let's see what these papers are about. Oh, skipped a little bit.
And one of those documents that's actually partially visible is a document which is actually the Ashcroft vs. Free Speech Coalition. Now, this is actually the court document that's on the table, just an excerpt of it, right? And if you don't know what that is, I did do some research on it because I don't live in the United States, I live in Australia. Basically, there was a Supreme Court case to do with the Child Prevention Act. And in a nutshell, it was they were arguing the freedom to engage in lawful speech. And the argument basis was that if the images, not literally of a child, then they're claiming like this whole coalition, this whole Ashcroft versus Free Speech court case was claiming that it should be allowed because it's not literally an actual child that they're using. It's like whether it be an AI, like artificial intelligence created image, so it's just created with pixels, whether it's painted or whether it's like an adult who's dressed to look like they're younger or something like that. So this is kind of just trying to give you more of a layman's terms on it.
So they're trying to use, if they're trying to say they should be able to put forth advertisement or something along the lines of it being a child if it's not actually one that they're using within their content or something like that. So it's like if it's AI or an actual adult who may look like a child, that they're not portraying child P or anything like that. And you know what P means. So so since they're saying if they're not using a literal child in their like content or something, that they should be able to do it because it's not them using an actual child, which I think is still wrong because you know what you want it to be and you know what everybody's going to look at it as. So
quite obviously that document being there is quite clearly sending some kind of message to do with child P material. I don't have words. Why would that be in a photo shoot?
So I'm gonna skip it a little bit.
It's
a little bit further
going on at Balenciaga.
And so we're not going to do this whole video.
As a creative director is pretty much like
there's just I know presentation of Balenciaga. She talks about that as very.
We all sort of see it is that whoever is a creative designer is the face of that brand, because the only reason that we would potentially be buying that brand is because of the creative designs that they're coming out with. Creative director, okay, that's probably the better word. His name is Demna. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Gavasilia. But he just simply is known as Demna anyway. Now, this is where it even gets more juicy, all right? Now, I'm just going to continue to go off the things that people have really noticed, but I actually uncovered a little bit more than what people have even noticed. Those were the 3 photos that were most talked about, but there are actually there's actually particularly another photo, right? And it links to the other photos as well. So I'm going to draw your attention to this particular photo. Now, it looks seemingly more innocent-ish than the other.
All right, so I kind of know where she's going to go with this because I have seen this before and I talked about this with my youth group. So I know this look a little blurry on your screen, but you can see a tape roll right here, right? So we know that Balenciaga, we can see it right here, is spelled Balen, right? There's one A. But on this tape roll here, I know it's a little blurry, but you can look this up online. You'll see that they spelt it purposely Baal, which is a Canaanite god for the pagans called Baal, or they call it Baal. And to be honest, all throughout scripture, I think the number one false god that the Lord has always been telling us to stay away from and not to follow the ways of is Baal. Is Baal, the pagan god, which is not a god. We all know there's really only one true God, and that's Yahweh. But Baal is a god that they worshiped back then, the Canaanites. So here they got Baal. They spelled it purposely on there because even over here on this is a tape roll, which I think she mentions that Kim Kardashian wore or whatever, but it's spelled correctly, BAL. And over here they purposely put two A's. Now, interesting enough, if you were to go and type in Balenciaga, you have to put spaces in between it. So like if you go on Google and you pull up a translator and you put BAL space EN space CI space AGA, and you translate that from Latin to English, it will come back as do what you want, which is also stated as do as thou wilt. And those who done a lot of research and understand that there's a lot of wickedness out here, you would know that do what thou wilt is a satanic principle to live under. We all know that throughout scripture, we are told to do the Lord's will. And Yeshua himself said, not my will, but thy will be done. That I will move my will to the side for the will of the Father. This satanic principle is the exact opposite. It promotes for you to do what you want. Do what you want. Do as thou wilt. You can see this saying on Jay-Z's shirt. You type in Jay-Z, do what thou wilt. You'll see that he has that on his shirt. And he does, he's also within all of this. And, it may sound like I'm making some claims here, but you can check and see. It's all on the internet. It's always been in your face. Now, the interesting thing is, if you would take Balenciaga in the same way that I told y'all to space it out and it said do what thou wilt, it actually has two different meanings. If you spell it the way with the double A that they have on there, if you put BAAL space EN space Siaga space, it will say Baal is king. Y'all think I'm tripping, don't y'all? So if y'all think I'm tripping, let me do this real quick. We're gonna do this real quick. Translator. All right, we got Latin into English. So let's try this. Baal. No. Maybe they fixed it since then because they knew all that backlash was happening. Oh, wait. Now it's working. Do the work. That is not what that means. All right. Balenci. There we go. All right. It took a while, but we're here now. Balenciaga means do what you want in Latin, which is the same thing as do what you want or do as thou wilt, as you can see here. Now, if I type it the other way, hopefully this doesn't. And see. Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. It took a while to get here, but we got here. All right. So the second translation of it with the two A's that they showed in the video on that tape shows you that this is what it is saying. Now, if this isn't an eye opener, I don't know what else is. Okay. They're literally doing this in your face. And they've always been hiding things like out in the open for us to like, I don't even know, just for us to see. And for some reason we just ignore it. But yeah, let's get back into this.
Other photos. It's a boy with a Balenciaga hoodie on, track pants, and he's he's got a taped chair with that Balenciaga tape all over. That tape was made famous as well by Kim Kardashian, so that's why that tape is quite obviously placed there, right? However, now, and this is something I actually want to say before we get into this photo, actually. Let me just, – placement for a reason. Everything is picked for a reason. It's somewhat not of a structure with this video, I apologize. But my point that I just wanted to get across is that do not think that any of this is innocent. This is all deliberately chosen.
Yes.
Items are deliberately chosen. There is no mistake. There was no mistake for that court document. It was literally put there for a reason. This photo, getting back to this photo, right? Like I said, it looks seemingly innocent at face value compared to the other ones. Now, if you look down here, in the bottom, sort of almost in the bottom left corner, you'll see 2 tape rolls. Okay, and if you look close up, you will notice that the tape roll is misspelt. Rather than saying Balenciaga, or at least those first 5 letters, it says B-A-A-L, and then followed by E and N. You can almost see the E and N, right? Now, Bal. Why would that be there? Like, why would they deliberately have misspelt that? Could that be an accident? And I'll explain why it definitely was not an accident. This wasn't an accident. This was, like I said, strategically bloody placed there. Now, if you research the definition of Baal, Baal is an ancient Canaanite god. So he's like a pagan god. They believed the sack of minors to this god was apparently their belief, like the pagan belief. Children was to a god called Molech in the Old Testament. It's quite obvious that Baal is a pagan, Canaanite, ancient god. This quite sinister, quite evil, quite obviously, given all that context of it. That word Baal is on the tape.
This is... All right, so what is killing me right now is that even with all of this, some of this is still not even going to be enough for you to understand, like, or not for you, but for people out there to understand that there is a kingdom of darkness out there, and that Satan is going through this earth to see who he can kill, steal, and destroy. And unfortunately, our children are the biggest, the most at risk here, and it's because they're innocent. Their children are being kidnapped every single day, and it's not just for advertisements and stuff like that. Kids are being kidnapped for some dark, demented reasons. And, I wish I could go into like really deep detail some of the things that I know. And maybe one day I will. But I will leave y'all with this, okay? Because I know if y'all want to go watch this video, here, let me tell y'all who this is. This is Purse on Fleek. If y'all want to find her and support her YouTube. I think she did really well. She did really well at breaking down these advertisements. But just know that this isn't the first time that's been in our face. Okay, there's some stuff happening. Yeah, I might think it's all conspiracy, but when it's in your face, how's it a conspiracy? When it's literally, they're showing you that this is what's happening, and this is what they want to be legal. And just because they want it to be legal doesn't mean it's not happening until it becomes legal. It is happening behind the scenes. Why do you think they're kidnapping these children for? And for this to be a major fashion industry promoting these things, it's not cool at all. And regardless who it is, it's not cool. But I just wanted y'all to see that, there's things out there that is just blatantly in our face. And if we do not wake up, that we're going to get blindsided. Now, I want to take this moment to plug in the gospel with you. I want y'all to know that, Yeshua is coming back. And when I say Yeshua, it's just the Hebrew name for Jesus. Yeshua is coming back. And the question is, will you be ready? Will you be ready when he breaks that sky open? Will you be ready to give an account for your life? Would you be able to say that you lived a life according to his will, or that you did what you wanted, that you lived your own will and lived life for your own pleasures? And I want y'all to know that there's nothing in this world that is worth your soul. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All the money in the world is not worth your soul. And if it was, then why are the ones who are selling their souls for money wanting to die so early? or should I say wanting to unalive themselves, which I don't promote at all. And I hope that, those out there who have mental health or any struggles that is going through with choosing how to navigate this life, I pray that you will give Yeshua a try, because he is life and he can give you life and that more abundantly. So if you want to know more about Yeshua, you want to grow in your faith, I want to plug you into the Growth Podcast. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to remove those scales from your eyes, but it won't be me. It'll be the Holy Spirit through me. So I want to thank y'all for tapping into this video with me. This was my first one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And, just let me know what else you want to see me react to. Other than that, I just want to wish y'all a good day. Have a good weekend, depending on what day you're watching this video. But we appreciate you. Thank you for checking out my channel.